Good morning. Good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about features of macroeconomics. First is study of aggregates. Macroeconomics deals with the study of entire economy. It studies the overall conditions in the economy such as national income, national output, total employment, general price level, etc. Second feature is lumping method. Macroeconomics uses the lumping method for the purpose of economic study. The approach of macroeconomics is aggregative in nature. It considers aggregates like national income, total consumption, general aggregative price level, etc. instead of personal income, per capita income, individual prices of commodities, etc. Aggregate means total or overall. And lumping means, for example, if I want to check the employment rate, what I will do? I will take sample from rural area, 100 people, 100 people from semi-urban area and 100 people from urban area. Then I will make study on these 300 people and will pass the conclusion. So this is called as lumping method. Next is general equilibrium analysis. Macroeconomic analysis is based on general equilibrium. This is because it deals with the economic system as a whole and studies the interrelationships and interdependence between the various macro variables in an economy. For example, when aggregate demand and aggregate supply are equal, it will determine the level of income and employment. Next is income analysis. Macroeconomics is also known as income theory. It studies the factors determining the national income and employment and the causes of fluctuations in income and employment. Policy oriented. The study of macroeconomics is useful in formulating policies to promote economic growth, to control inflation, to generate employment, to pull the economy out of depression, etc. Thus, microeconomics is policy oriented science. It is based on interdependence. Interdependence is a core subject. Interdependence is a core subject of macroeconomics. Everything depends on everything else. So there is an element of interdependence among the macroeconomic variables. For example, changes in the level of investment will finally result in the changes in the level of income, output, employment, and economic growth. For example, if there is a demand for jeans pant, then the production of jeans pant will be more, means supply will be more, and in expenditure on jeans pant will be more, and thereby the income to the seller will be more. Next is dynamic science. Macroeconomics studies the change in aggregate economic variables and analyzes the dynamic nature of the economy. It helps us to study the progress of an economy in investment, total production, total employment, growth, etc. Now today we are going to see the importance of macroeconomics. Importance. Functioning of an economy. It helps to understand how the economy is functioning. It helps us to understand the behavioral pattern of aggregate economic variables. Next is economic fluctuation. Helps to analyze the causes of fluctuations in income, output, and employment. It also helps to control these fluctuations or reduce their severeness. Third is national income, an important economic variable which is studied under macroeconomics for the formulation of correct economic policies. Next is economic development. Macroeconomics helps to understand the problems of developing countries such as poverty, inequalities of income and wealth, differences in standard of living of people, and also suggests the important steps for economic development. Next point we can see, that is performance of economy. Macroeconomics helps to analyze the performance of economy, whether it is progressing or whether it is decreasing, what measures we should take to improve the economy, so on. Next is study of macroeconomic variables. To understand the working of an economy, study of macroeconomic variables is very important. For example, total output, total income, general price level, etc. Next is level of employment. It helps to analyze the general price level of employment and output in the economy. Now, children, here are some different concepts such as economic variable, then general price level of employment, output, etc. These terms are totally new to you. At present, you understand this much only. As we will come in further lessons, these concepts are going to be clear. Don't get confused. Okay. Now, the question will be asked that distinguish between slicing method and lumping method. What you are going to do is, for a slicing method, I will tell about slicing method first. In slicing method, the entire economy is cut into individual slices and each unit is studied in depth. Okay. In lumping method, we study the economy as a whole without slicing it. Microeconomic uses slicing method, whereas macroeconomics uses lumping method. Next, in slicing method, detailed study of the behavior of an individual unit like a household, a firm, a product or a factory is done. While in lumping method, it deals with the behavior of large aggregates like aggregate demand, aggregate supply, total employment, national income, and their functional relationship is studied. Okay. Then slicing method relates to the detailed study of a tree and not the study of forest as a whole, whereas lumping method relates to the study of forest as a whole and not a particular tree. Okay, this point also you can add for the distinguish between. Next comes the question of distinguish between partial equilibrium and general equilibrium. So in partial equilibrium, it analyzes based on its analysis is based on the assumption other things remain constant, whereas general equilibrium is not based on any assumption. Partial equilibrium studies the equilibrium of a consumer, a firm, an industry, or a market. And general equilibrium deals with the position of economy as a whole. Partial equilibrium deals with one or two variables at a time, So it is a simple method and is independent. General equilibrium deals with all the variables of the economic system simultaneously. So it is sophisticated. There is interdependence. I hope you have understood the difference between the partial equilibrium and general equilibrium. Now coming to micro variables and macro variables. Micro variable refers to individual demand, market demand, individual supply, price of commodity, etc. Macro variables refer to inflation rate, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, employment. Micro variables are mostly independent. It does not affect the whole economy as they are based on assumptions, whereas macro variables are interrelated and interdependent. It the affects the working of the economy as a whole. Microeconomic variables example: price and quantity demanded are universally related. This will hold true only if the income of the consumer, taste, fashion, etc. remain constant. In macro variables, change in aggregate demand, aggregate supply will affect income and employment in the economy. I hope in today's lectures I have cleared all doubts about micro variables, macro variables, partial equilibrium, general equilibrium, slicing method and lumping method. So today's lecture is important